Are we throwing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 6 and that's it. Exactly 52.
She's not listening. Give him shit.
Okay, practice begins.
I was waiting for a now.
Oh, sorry.
I was waiting for
Now.
Now.
I'll show you the playground. Sure. Practice begins now. Oh, jeez. Is this a game?
Hey Canada, there's something smoking new at Montana's. Beef brisket is now seasoned and then slow smoked in-house for 12 hours every day. Try it in our new Austin cheesesteak sandwich and other barbecue favorites. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
How far do you have to travel to have an experience?
A very pleasant, good day, and welcome to the North Bay Curling Club, the semifinals of the Montana North Bay Double Spiel. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Jim Nix, and we featuring this semifinal with Yuhan and Ziyu Wang versus West Forget and Kira Brunton. So, both these teams have done pretty well, obviously, to get to this point, eh, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've got them, looks like 4-0 for the Han and Wang team and 4-1 for the other squad. So it's, pretty good run for sure.
And it is Forget and Brunton with the hammer, the last stone advantage here in the first end. And it looks like we're picking up this end with a few stones already in. So I see that we have 5 rocks on the ice, so we're free to hit away now.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I haven't watched a lot. I've certainly watched some, obviously, and never played. So it's a race to the button pretty much all the time. And there's always a lot of action happening. There very rarely do you see an open end in this mixed doubles. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and more than just a race to the button, it's a race to build the correct angles, because eventually you want to be able to tap them and massage them so all your rocks live in front of the 4-foot and all your opponents are right there to catch them, and there's nothing they can do about it. So we see here West Forget, he's throwing the middle 3 rocks. Now, the teams do have the option to change that at every end. You don't see it too often, but it does happen on occasion when they feel like they might want to shift to a strategy where they might feel like they need the better hitter in the middle, or that's generally the way you do it.
Yeah, you're right, and most of the time it seems that the men throw the middle 3 stones, not all the time, but most of the time. Even what I find interesting or have found interesting that's the case even sometimes when you might have a person playing the female partner, maybe somebody that generally plays lead or second, but um, and the male partner still doesn't, even if he's normally a skipper or third, sometimes doesn't play those positions. So it's interesting to see how they decide. And I guess you just go out, practice a lot, talk about it, and get a feel for it. It takes a little while, like any curling team, to come together and have a feel for what you want to do and where you want to play.
I remember in the Martinsville mixed doubles we did earlier in this season, there were several teams that actually the male was throwing first and last.
Yeah.
And but then again, you could take the line there that if they weren't going to use a brush, in general, you have a little bit stronger sweeper there.
Yeah.
So it's if you're not going to lay down a broom for a target, you kind of take advantage of the fact of that for 3 more stones. So it's all whatever you're good at. Like you said, it's practice. So right now they are line 3. We see the guard has been moved out of the way. So pretty good spot right now for Brunton and for Jay. Now here, now you got a couple more rocks to come. But you really have to worry about that red one on the top of the 4.
Yeah, that would be a concern for sure. Not sure how many rocks have we thrown here. We've got Jay with hammer, so this would be his third.
I believe this is his second.
Oh yeah, second, third overall, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I would anticipate that you look to throw a corner freeze in the top left-hand corner as we're looking at that redstone on the overhead. Put your rock in a good spot and kind of take away a good angle for the redstone.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to put it somewhere where your opposition can't drive it into one of your blue ones, but even a little bit short, I think would probably play okay here, Dave, if you were just off the top of the 12-foot kind of thing.
Absolutely. And here we see it coming in. I think I had the call figured out pretty good, but just a little short's good too. Put a guard there, make him do something about it. Line 3 is always a good thing. So it looks like the straight run's going to be coming up next.
Yeah, should be able to get a few of them moving here.
And feel free to join us in the chat. We always like interacting with folks. So interesting. The broom was right down the middle there, but kind of in and out of it a little bit. So it did with the curl. It's going to run right on there and remove 2 of the blue stones from contention. But if you look at it for Brunton and Forget, they still have the control rocks.
Yeah, they do for sure. It's I think that was as good a result as Han could get out of that. I think it was you were going to get a couple, and that was going to be it. But definitely an advantage still for the Forget team at this point. Yeah. So this is
one thing to consider.
Sorry, Dave. I'm trying to still
trying
to do the rock throwing thing, trying to figure out how many rocks I have left because it would seem like this would be the blue stone's last shot. She wasn't throwing before this, right?
No, there's always this would be because this is there's always one extra stone because there's one place stone on either side, and then usually the odd rock is on the home side.
So the Han and Wang team actually has hammer here. We've just got it backwards on our scoreboard there.
Well, who had the? Oh, that's right. They should because they had the better record. I would assume.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Got it there right now. So I was just trying to think whether or not if this was their last shot, they could come right around, tap the red, and maybe score 4. But there's another rock to come. This looks good though.
We don't want to disturb it too much. Okay. I see them taking a look at that in-off to come in there. Might be their only way to score right now. Now they're only facing one right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so you don't want to get too aggressive.
No, it's not really the worst. I mean, you want to steal and you want to score at least 2 with hammer every time in here. You know, frankly, if I'm playing right now in the first end, there's no way this shot makes multiple points. So I'd rather just act like I lost the draw or I lost the coin toss, and I just force them to 1, and I'll move on in the second. There's a lot to be said for just throwing this one on the boards and not waste a hammer.
Yeah.
But this one's on the way, and that's going to catch it just a little too thick. It'll be a steal of 1 for Brunton and Forget. And we'll be back from the North Bay Granite Club right after this. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Hey Canada, head on down to Montana's for our 50-day aged 7-ounce sirloin flame grilled with 2 sides and onion rings, all for just $25.99 every day. Premium steak without a premium price, only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Swiss Chalet's festive special is back. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. It's a tradition truly worth sharing. The festive special, only at Swiss Chalet.
Surrounded by beauty on every side, this is a place where you can get away from it all. Or be right there in the center of everything. Arts, sports, entertainment, a vibrant culture. This is North Bay, and it is exactly where I want to be.
And we're back here. It was Brunton and Forget stealing one in the first end. Wang and Han had the hammer here.
I think both teams wouldn't be terribly upset with the result in the first end. The steal of 1's always a good thing for the team without hammer, and the Han and Wang team they were in some pretty serious trouble for most of that end and could have easily given up more, but they got away with just a single. So overall, I think they wouldn't be terribly unhappy either. So
and they make that first come around to exactly pretty much the textbook position, top of the button. So now you're going to see the angles start to build up. And Forget has already lost his jacket because there's lots of moving around in this game.
Yeah, the game moves fast. Like, it moves fast at all levels. They generally play the game and call the game pretty quickly, and the game itself, they don't usually spend a lot of time. Very rarely have I seen in the games I've done, which isn't a lot, but in the games I've done, I haven't seen a lot of wasted time, basically.
When you're playing this on a clock, I forget the exact number of minutes you receive, but it comes up on you really quick. At our club, we just do a countdown timer,
yeah.
and we give 78 minutes for an 8-end game.
Yeah. And it just runs full all.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, we're not putting. We had a couple folks who played a little bit longer than an 8-end than a 4-person game would be. Whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
Probably would have liked to have been down to the face there. You don't like to leave air too much. So now the opportunity, you see Wang indicating that he would like to kind of put it on that corner there. That way, later on the end, he can eject that blue and keep his own right there.
Yeah, I think that's the best call here. Just basically corner the blue or just off the corner of the blue, and it'd be a pretty good spot.
Now, then that's where that depth control is so important. If that stone had come even, 10 inches further, it's a really good shot.
Yeah.
Whereas that is, if you're scoring it, probably like a 2, maybe a 3.
Out of 4?
Yeah.
Okay, just trying to make sure you're not too tough on him.
No, out of 4.
Yeah, good. This one looks like it must be a little warm. Maybe not.
It's always a little bit tough when you're playing doubles and sweeping your own, because you have to get up and then gauge the weight before you can decide whether you're going.
Yeah.
But that is right exactly where they put the stick down.
Yeah, perfect. Trying to figure out that point when you need to bail, and this is probably interesting too. It's you still have opportunities here for Forget and to come right around and sit on the back, but I don't know. Looks like they're looking hard at peeling that guard out.
Yeah, it might be time to do that, because alternatively, you can actually throw the opposite corner freeze on your own.
Yeah.
And try to take control of the front that way too.
Yeah, the only problem with the peel is you're 2 shots away from being able to get at the rock that's in the middle, right? Because those staggered guards at the front aren't going to let you do anything with those on the reds. So, well, with difficulty you can. I guess you can throw the out turn, but all right, we'll see what he does. Well, he's not peeling.
Well, if he's going for what I was suggesting, this has got to curl.
He might be heavy.
Yeah, that's going to come in and past everything. That's not the outcome. That's basically a lost rock there.
Yeah, certainly in some trouble here now. I think patience is a bit of the key too. It always is in curling in general, but it certainly is in this mixed doubles game, because that you're certainly tempting here to maybe move that red on the blue, but you got to be really careful here. You might open something up that you don't need to open up.
Well, yeah, it's a good time to do it, and almost so you want to just. It's okay to move it just a little bit, or use it as a guard and wrap around, and that's that. Red on the blue is your last shot to make everything. So making a play on the back blue right now, or into that, or tighter into that area, isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
They definitely see an opportunity right now to score 3.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you do see in mixed doubles, as you play it. It's there's more big ends than you would expect, given that you only have 6 rocks in play every end. So
we have a 6 scored at our club probably about every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's because club curlers make a lot of mistakes, but I've seen 5s on the tour events.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because you just don't calculate when it's time to give up.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, he didn't really want to move that one.
No. He's actually fortunate that the red went as far as it did, because it could have easily stopped right at T-line, given the other guys a chance to get out of this end.
Yeah, big opportunity now for the blue squad to come on in there, get a piece of the button, maybe even lie shot, and get out of this, and maybe end up in steal position. So how quickly this game moves. We just were talking that red can score 3, and now with a really good one here, you could steal 1 for Forget and Brunton.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, quite easily.
Because, once if you can tuck that around there, I think it's 2 stones to get at it. Unless you can hit what you can see of the blue on the other one and drive it in, but then you're still only scoring 1. And to force it, it's a good outcome for him. It is quite the different game.
Yeah, this is probably your one opportunity to get out of this end, and probably be the only opportunity, so you might need to make this one.
So the stone on the way from Forget. Kira Brunton on the brush. Needs to hurry. Has to get past this guard. On it is no good, and it is just going to over curl a whole lot.
Yeah, quite light.
Let's see, so now if you hit that blue stone that was just thrown, you're going to drive it onto the other blue, kick it out of there. It can never hurt you anymore. And probably lie 3. Now, it will give them 1 bailout shot on the other side, so you might still save that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, if you do that, I see what you're saying, and you would have the out turn around and on the red, but man, it would be tough. So.
Yep, and that is what they are. Does look like they're going to pull the trigger on that now. This is definitely the point where you want to take a little bit more time to look at it, because you're probably going to spin your red down a little bit towards the button, throwing this shot.
Yeah, I think a little bit, and then you just hope it doesn't go too far. But if you're going to get more than the 2, this is probably the way you're going to have to do it.
And this is pretty much what they've had set up the whole end. I don't think they expected the blue rock to be there in front of it, but it didn't really change the situation. It may have actually helped it. So, Wang Jiu off and on. This is pretty close. And come on down onto the blue. Watch the other one go out the side door, and the red spins right onto the 4-foot. And they sit 3.
They sit 3, but
little too much mustard on it.
Yeah, it didn't. It rolled. It spun further, as you mentioned earlier. It spun in, but it spun further than I think they thought, or I thought that it would do that, and with that weight, because he hadn't really thrown it too hard. But you do leave a tough but possible shot here in the out turn, particularly maybe to go through here and hit the red and roll right on top where the broom is.
You might be able to thread that needle on the in turn and make that double that they're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And probably a live one.
Really, really tough. But
yeah, well, that's most of these shots end up being that way.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a fun game to call, fun game to play, fun game to watch. And one thing that's really been good at Jimmy is allowing a lot of smaller nations to get involved in curling.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because now you don't need 9 people to have a full program. You need 3 people, 2 players and a coach.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then when you look around at some of the countries that have done very, very well at mixed doubles, particularly, a few years back, and currently still, when we did the event earlier this year, I think the number 1 and 2 ranked teams in the world were one from Netherlands and one from Australia. So, not necessarily curling hotbeds, if you will. And
those Aussies are good.
Yeah. So anyway, it's very interesting that way. It definitely has helped.
So Kira Brunton with her final stone in the second. Playing this really tough little thing. You got to come just off that top guy. It's got to curl. This needs to get off the high rock. If it's on the high rock, that's a disaster. And it does go through. It leaves the red team line 2. They'll have a draw for 3.
Yeah, good try by Kira. I really thought that would get by there. I thought he'd be able to carve that over, and just couldn't quite get it to move enough.
I think that was at that, above that critical weight where you can directionally sweep it. There's a certain spot where all you're doing is skidding it more.
Yeah. Going this way, which is a bit surprising. That most of the ant's been played on the other turn. I would.
Oh, this shot
there.
This shocks the devil out of me.
Yeah. Okay.
Final stone event number 2. On you. Just needs to settle in the 4-foot. Has sufficient backing. It comes on down and it settles in no problem. And that's 1, 2, and 3. And they take a 3-1 lead. We'll be back right to this. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Hey Canada, there's something smoking new at Montana's. Beef brisket is now seasoned and then slow smoked in-house for 12 hours every day. Try it in our new Austin cheesesteak sandwich and other barbecue favorites. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
How far do you have to travel to have an experience that's truly northern? Not as far as you might think. North Bay, Ontario. Truly northern experiences are closer than you think. Visit tourismnorthbay.com.
And we're back here for the North Bay Granite Club. It's the Montana North Bay Doubles. Presented to you here on Curling Stadium. I'm Dave Schmel with Jim Nix. We're happy to have you with us here on this beautiful day. It was a big score of 3 in the second end for Wang and Han. And they make the initial come around, probably a little bit deeper than they wanted, but some work to do for Brunton and Forget here. They need to respond in the third end.
Yeah, well played end by the Chinese squad. The last end and a nice draw to finish it off. Just an open draw, but a little newer spot in the ice and didn't have any trouble at all. And she just sunk it right on the button and big 3.
So you see that shot kind of created a pocket there.
Yeah.
As inviting as it is, it is behind the button. They do seem to be using the larger 18-inch button to North Bay.
It's got some work to do.
It certainly does. Yeah, so still everything behind the tee line, so it's lots of places to work, but the backing's not as tight as it was last end. You really need that tight backing to form. to get a big number generally, because this is loose enough that you can throw some weight in there and make a lot fly at the moment.
Yeah, they didn't seem totally on the same page for a couple seconds there. It looked like Kira was looking more at the straight freeze, and Wesley Forget was looking at a little hit and roll kind of thing, soft, gentle touch and roll or whatever. So they would have settled on one or the other. I don't know for sure which, but for me, I think a freeze would be a pretty good shot here, or just short of the freeze, just kind of above those rocks. I don't know if I want to move them too much.
So as Forget, looking for the freeze, you set up the first one here and move on from there now. This is his first.
There's light on one of these last end, and this one might be light as well. It's close, though.
Always better than light than heavy in this game. Especially this game, but it does... If they can stick one under there, I would expect to see the guard peeled next.
Yeah, if he makes a good shot here, it would be almost have to peel that guard, because it's going to be very difficult to score otherwise. And you definitely want to get on the board here.
As it sits right now, if you could, your own blue can take out both of one, if not two of the reds, if you can get to it. So, but they get to throw another one first.
It's always the problem,
isn't it?
Have a pretty good handle on draw weight.
They certainly do. And that comes down to a pretty good spot. Now, you can come right down there, but you're only ever scoring one now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, most likely. You still have a few more to come.
Yeah, that shot was really about a foot heavy, foot 18 inches heavy. It would have been perfect if it had been a little higher, but it's a must make for this end, I think, with only a few rocks left to come.
Oh, I would certainly think so. Okay, you're going to be looking at a world of hurt if you can't make this one. On the way now from Forget. That's a smooth move. He delivers with his glove off and then puts it back on and sweeps.
Yeah. This looks really good.
That is not bad at all. And they lie shot rock with a wall behind them. So you just turned lemons into lemonade. So, at the same time, need a good one back here if you're red. Want to get to the inside corner, most preferably.
Yeah, if you want to have any opportunity of removing that on a final shot, you'll definitely have to get to the inside a little bit here. I think it's more a case of these guys deciding that we are forced to one and make two shots to make that happen, and we'll be happy. But it's not quite that easy, because they can come around on the out turn too at this point and probably get second shot by getting to the nose of that red. Difficult, but I think it's makeable.
On the way down, the weight looks pretty good here. Watch this curl over. It's just gonna paper that blue and get on the other side. Now, it's really gonna be tough to get all the way to the other side, but it's gonna be equally as difficult to score too now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a tremendous shot.
So you see what they're gonna try to do there is come on in there and just kind of unlock it. Even though they can unlock that back red a little bit and sit in there. They might be able to stay there. And then you would actually have a double run for 3, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's a long run.
Yep.
There's the red guard out there that's sitting in that little circle, little logo out there that might be a problem for you. Anyway, see where Forget can put this one.
Oh, that'd be the stone I was running.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's all depends on where this goes. Final from Forget. On this one, pretty quick. Way the heck out there. Here she comes. It's turning in a hurry. Oh, wrecking on that's bad. Well,
just a little bit late again, I think.
Yep, so you see that there. Now they're still talking about to see if they can get in the way to force, to steal. But what I'd be doing is just move up your red a little bit. I don't. You might actually be able to get shot rock if you tap the red on that side.
I think it's maybe there. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's gonna be really, really close. But if you make that shot, I don't know how it leaves.
No.
I mean, you might be able to angle in the one that you just threw on a Hail Mary, but it's still only ever going to be for one.
Yeah, you got to feel good about this though, because if you don't make this, he's got the outturn. Yeah, I was just going to say you might be looking at the guard on the blue as maybe a better option.
Yeah, because that's really the danger rock right now.
Yeah, and
that's the only way they're scoring too.
Yeah,
like you said, fairly easy. They still got to make it.
As long as you tap, if you're going to go with that little tap on the red, as long as you tap it. Even if you tap it a little bit past, it's not shot rock, and it takes the run back away, then that would be okay. But it's interesting. I'm not exactly sure what they decided on. If they decided on just playing the,
I think they're doing the tap.
Are they okay?
It looks like they're. That's with that kind of broom, though. I'm suspecting almost.
Or are they playing the guard on the?
They might play the guard chasing over the other way. Yep.
It's gonna be hard to get this in the right place. The guard. She's working on it pretty hard, though.
It's taking the finish. There you go. Got to brush it over just another foot more, and that is probably good enough. It might still be able to be made. You obviously have to try to make it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a really good effort. It might have left a little bit of a chance at the tap, but it was a pretty good effort for throwing and having and then sweep it every inch of the way. And almost another 2 inches, and she's got that locked off. So totally. Still a really tough shot. You got to have enough weight to bump that to the button. So you got to have probably back 8, back 12, somewhere around there. And then get enough curl once you can buy the high guard. So it's going to be tough.
So line 1, Kara Brunton really, really shot for 2. Now they're trying to make sure it's still there. He says, oh, well, go for it.
So what have they decided they're going to play?
I
missed that.
That they're going to throw the out turn.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
And try to tap that guy up. Certainly there. You have to get past that long guard that was just thrown that you can just see on the top of the split screen. Final stone of the third. It's around it, no problem. Now, gonna have to work it over, Wes. Gotta work it over, Wes. And now here you go. Tap it up. Drive it on. Does it get there for 2? Oh, very good effort. It's going to be 1 blue. Score 3-2 after 3. You're watching Curling Stadium. We'll be back.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Swiss Chalet's festive special is back. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. It's a tradition truly worth sharing. The festive special, only at Swiss Chalet.
Back here at number 4. It's a 3-2 advantage for Wang and Hanyu. And they have the hammer. They had forced Forget and Brunton to a single. And now we play the fourth, so you have to feel good if you're the Red Rocks right now, which because you've only allowed your opponent to score a single point twice. And even the first one was a steal. It's not so bad. And the first come around was probably just a little bit a foot deep, so now they put one on the top 4 foot. Now we start the stack parade. Thanks for joining us in Curling Stadium. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. You can follow all your teams right on curlingzone.com, and on Curling Stadium we have lists with all the different teams. You can catch up on all your favorites action whenever you like. Just subscribe to Curling Stadium on YouTube. It would really help us out. So here's Wes Forget with his first. And I find in this game, Jimmy, that it always ends up being a little bit of Hatfields and McCoys. One team ends up focusing on one side of the sheet and setting up the angles their way, and they want a Christmas tree back the other way.
Yeah.
And yep. Oh, looks like they're considering peeling here.
Yeah.
Now once again, for those of you unfamiliar with the game, you can't remove any stones till there's 5. That includes the place rocks. It's the easiest way to remember it. Can't even remove your own. So if you can count to 5, you can play mixed doubles. So you got it covered. I don't know about Terry. So with the lead with Hammer, they're moving a little bit into a defensive mode right now.
Close.
On the run, straight back, open it all up. And it leaves Brunton and Forget line 2, but nothing really threatening the scoring area. And now you can open it up some and play a little bit more of a traditional end of curling.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It's it looks almost like you're in worst trouble, but you really aren't, because with hammer it was getting a little difficult there, and now everything is pretty much wide open and accessible, which is really what you wanted. I didn't know that though, Dave, about removing your own stones. Actually, that was one thing that you said there that I didn't realize, that you couldn't remove your own stones either. So that's good to know.
So it's basically a super Moncton rule. They have to stay.
Yeah.
That's the best way I described it. Anybody who has, I'll be very nice and say experienced curling.
Yeah. Still pretty good setup though for Brunton and Forget as well, though. It's
yeah, it was more that Wang and Han didn't want to make sure that, they want to make sure they weren't stolen against in this end. And the setup wasn't the best. I mean, they had maybe one shot that wasn't right where they want it, and it's okay. Now, Brunton and Forget are just gonna ignore that one in the back and try to get something going in here. I think he tapped a little bit more than he wanted to, though.
A little bit, yeah. It's a lot of blue stones, though.
He might be running the red back again. Because that thrown rock is still in the way.
Yeah. And it's hard to get by that guard and not with enough to be able to make a double on the top blue and another one. I don't think it's ever there, so. You just got to be sure when you go for these, if you're actually trying to make a run back of sorts, that you know exactly where you've got to hit. And it doesn't really matter what the tolerance is, because nobody's going to be able to sweep it anyway. So it's just kind of a watch thing. But for the number of brush strokes you're going to get in, if he's going to jump up and come and sweep, it's not going to matter. But you do want to hit this in the right spot. You don't necessarily want to leave your shooter right there.
Yeah, there's only a few people who can chase their own peels. That goes and just cleans everything up.
Yeah.
It does leave a little biter there, so they still have 2 shots to try to manufacture something crazy. Or do they? But the best you can do here, if you're Brunton and Forget, is just to clutter it up some, because you can't just throw one on the outturn side and just let it sit there, because it doesn't matter.
No.
So you're probably just guarding up what you have now and putting the force on.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think that's the best scenario for sure for these guys. They're good chances stealing one though if they can make a couple good guards. It's they're going to have to hit. Wang and Han are going to have to hit the button. And if you can cheat this one a little bit to the inside, maybe almost catch a piece of the center line, you'd make that a little tougher yet.
And he might actually be looking to tap your own up here just a touch. They don't want to get too close to it, because then he can make a few go away. And before you know it, you'd never want to hog it. Get it over. Come on. Oh, we always believed you.
Never any doubt.
They had some doubt for a moment, Jimmy.
I wasn't sure when Kara stopped if that meant that she'd given up, or if that was okay, that was going to get there. So, actually turned out pretty good.
It's super. Yeah, it's super high now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now see how This is a situation where you could have, may have snookered yourself. So they put one right where they're laying the broom down right now. Now you're putting yourself in a tough spot to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that guard being so long, yeah, you can get there, but it's gonna be tough to get there with enough weight to really remove anything.
Yeah.
With the extra backing, so let's.
He
They're
might
not
have been-
done. They're not giving up on 2 yet here.
No. Yeah, Forget might have been better off with trying to block that drop more than guard those ones, the 2 up, because guarding the 2 up, you can't play those and get shot. But anyway, let's move on to the next one.
So here's it. The one from Wang. This is curling a ton. Really want to get by that top one. Working it hard. Oh! You do skitter it on the edge of the 4-foot, though. And it's got an angle on some rocks.
Are we 1-2?
Not shot stone, though. They still are facing 2. It's 2 for Brunton and Forget.
Yeah, I think you're guarding the tap here and
making them get creative.
yeah. Could do that.
Just verifying to see who's second. I'm willing to bet on blue all day there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, has backing. This one is just scary, right? It's that big lane right through the hole. Yeah, go a little wider. Think of it backing in.
Well, they at least have decided.
Yeah, so this is the danger, of opening things up. Yeah, sometimes you can get hoisted on that too, and because they left all their opponents' rocks in the house. But they may have been facing a multiple steal too, so they may still be facing it. So here's a shot from Kara Brunton.
Ooh, I don't think that helps much.
Well, it's a relatively straightforward tap from 1 now. Although, let's see.
They seem to be talking draw more than tap. Tap looks pretty
straightforward. I think they're doing that now because they just looked at the angle to see where it goes. Just making sure. So final stone forthcoming in the 4th end.
It's hard to not score here as long as you make contact with the blue one.
Yeah, you have to move it, about half a rack? Something like that?
Yeah, half a rock. I think you could get away if you're a little bit heavier. You can even get away with that as long as you make contact. So,
Final stone of the 4th. On you.
Much I want to hold it straight though.
Now they're going to carve it over. Might not catch enough of it. And you don't. And it's a steal of 2 for Brunton and Forget. So 4-3 in their favor. We'll be back right to this on Curling Zone.
Hey Canada, head on down to Montana's and get the best of both worlds. Enjoy our 7-ounce sirloin aged for 50 days, flame grilled and served with your choice of 2 sides and onion rings. Just $25.99 every day. Plus, for a limited time, add a Canadian lobster tail to surf your turf. Only $10 more. Dive into this or our lobster spinach dip, lobster mac and cheese, and more. Only for a limited time. Come for the barbecue, stay for the flavor. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Fifth end there, and an unexpected steal for West Forget and Kira Brunton. Here in the semifinals of the Montana's North Bay doubles from the North Bay Granite Club. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix here with you. And looks like that end just kind of got away a little bit from Han and Wang.
Yeah, and I just didn't understand the end of it. I couldn't quite figure out what the shot call was, and they weren't necessarily sweeping it through the shot that I thought that they were playing, but yeah, they were looking good for a long time there.
So you see the initial come around is deep and on the back corner. You always want that to be lined up a lot more. So now you're going to see the corner freeze come onto it. Now they tapped it. Now that it's perfectly fine to tap it back as long as it's still in play. It can even be in the coffin. That's not a problem either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that shot turned out pretty well.
Absolutely. Because now they're lined up in such a way that you might be able to activate that rock in the back 8 at some point.
There's always a possibility.
So here's West Forget. A little bit of separation on these stones. You just want to at least get to it. A little bit to the inside's a better outcome, though. Well, we're going to have no problem getting to the inside. We just might have a problem getting to it and staying there. Ooh. Might have even wicked the guard a little bit on the way by. And it's going to slide all the way by. So that was a little heavy and narrow. It's now a big chance for the Chinese. And this is one of the situations where that strategy from the 4-player game comes in. Well, where did your opponent want to put a rock? Well, you know what? That might be a really good spot for us to put one too.
Yeah. Looks like that's the call, just a little freeze.
Yep. If blue wanted to be there, it's a good idea to put a red one there. We overthink the game too much sometimes, Jim.
Absolutely, yeah. At all levels, too.
That is 1,000% accurate, and getting to watch as much curling as we do, we see folks that are brilliant with it, and sometimes folks that are brilliantly simple. And recall in particular one game, this rock is also over curling. This is in danger of wrecking on the guard, and it certainly will. Not so bad to open up a little bit, but you actually didn't mind having the long guard there the way things were set up.
Yeah, you've got a couple corners now, but I don't know how often you get to use them in this game. So
no. So you once again somebody's gonna be looking for a corner freeze. But the problem is I don't think you can have a draw path to a corner freeze.
Yeah.
With where they just went. So now you have to throw some sort of hit, and you're allowed to, of course, now at this point in the end. So you want to kick out your opponent's rock and leave your stone someplace where it has an opportunity. So you might be able to, if you come across the face, roll underneath the corner. Might actually see a corner guard used.
Yeah, or you hit it dead on the nose and stay right in front of it, I guess, is the other option, I guess.
That's not bad either, because, you know, then you're making the redstone that's currently saying shut. It will still be shot by the time you're done, but it's the next one out of the house.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good outcome for them. Would have liked to have kicked it the other way a little bit. Does give Wang and Han an opportunity to corner freeze to it. But going back to what I was saying, I particularly remember one game in the Briar, I think it was in the bubble, when Darren Molden was racing for Brendan Botcher, and it looked relatively simple. There was really only one in the rings, and Brendan was thinking of throwing a guard to try to make his deuce that way, but it was relatively late. He said, why don't we just play the junior and split the rings? and Brendan went, yeah, we could do that. Okay, buddy. Sometimes the best shot is so obvious it's staring you right in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So looking to get on the corner here. I have to work it hard to get it there and to hold the line because it's going to cut hard.
Be short.
Yep, it is short. So that's right down those paths that really don't get played very much in mixed doubles. You don't throw many rocks right down the middle. Yep. You have to be somewhat careful, but I think it's pretty simple just to make the redstone go away right now.
Yeah, it would seem to me that it would be fairly easy. Just hit a little bit on the, depending which turn you go on this turn, a little bit on the high side, and just flop to the right a hair, and you should be in pretty good shape. You can hit it right on the nose for that matter and get rid of all the reds, but I don't think you want to stay right there if you can help it.
You do have to watch the corner guards coming in though, but they're going to be, that's a tough double run no matter if you're ever going to try it, but they've already shown that they want to throw these kind of shots. So this stone's on the way. It looks to be in pretty good shape. It's going to pop and flop just about right where they want it.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
So now, with those corner guards there really isn't a way to draw the button, so you're going to have to hit through this end. And hope to get a good roll so maybe you can throw a little downweight shot.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a real good roll here. It's sort of, I don't know if you can get it underneath or not.
You definitely have to yeah, because if you throw the intern, it's kind of scary, because if you don't do it right, you are going to kick out your other rock, and maybe you might be looking at 5 with your last, which you don't want to do.
Yeah. She's sort of indicating, okay, hitting it on the high side and trying to roll behind the other one on the other side, but that's a tough shot. But right now they're both going to be tough. Getting a roll either way here is going to be very difficult. So
if you ever throw it hard to make it go dead sideways, I assume that's the best shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Was it throw the laws of physics with Newton or somebody? I don't think curling was around at that time.
Yeah, it didn't apply. Anyway, give Newton a few cocktails, we could have convinced him it would go. Triples there, Isaac. Okay.
You're gonna get this by.
It's gonna be really close. You wick. You're still gonna get it out. You're gonna lose your shooter though. You are facing 3 now.
That was so close. Just on the
give
replay
Newton
here,
a few cocktails, we could have convinced him it would go
really hard.
Triples
really
there, Isaac.
He was gonna get it by. And you just see, just at the end,
get this by?
just barely rubs.
It's going to be really close. You wick. You're still going to get it out. You're going to lose your shooter, though.
I was going to say, it looked like you could see air there all the way through that shot, but obviously for half a second there, it wasn't air.
Yeah, I mean, if you throw it and block the center line, they won't be able to chase down to any of these.
No.
And you're going to force them to go all the way around the outturn side, super wide, and try to catch a piece of the 4-foot. So, I didn't catch the call because we had the replay going, but we'll see what we got here.
My guess is they're going right in somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, but.
Kara Brunton, the final stone for her in the 5th.
So now it looks a little bit more like they're throwing the guard that you suggested, which would make some sense for sure.
Yeah, because the biggest thing that this takes away, because right now the easiest way to score would to become on the outturn side down to the blue on the side of the 4-foot. You can never take that away, and they're both really tough now.
Yeah. This one you have to get just to the inside of the blue. And I think it doesn't look like a lot of room there, but on the overhead it looks like there should be enough room to make that happen. It's just a matter of knowing what it's going to do out here and match up the weight.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest challenge because we're out pretty wide.
Very big shot, though. You can't afford, because if you miss this, you touch the guard or something, you're giving up 3.
Absolutely. So, final stone for Hanyu, the 5th end. Facing 3, needs a piece of the 4-foot. Okay, it looks to have plenty of room past the guard. Is the weight okay? Looks heavy. They might be able to roll it off their own. Carve it over, get a skosh of a roll, and that will be 1 red. So we have a tie ball game. Heading in the 6th end. Big shot out of Hanyu. All tied up. We'll be back after this on Curling Stadium.
Hey Canada, head on down to Montana's for our 50-day aged 7-ounce sirloin flame grilled with 2 sides and onion rings, all for just $25.99 every day. Premium steak without a premium price. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Swiss Chalet's festive special is back. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. It's a tradition truly worth sharing. The festive special, only at Swiss Chalet.
Surrounded by beauty on every side, this is a place where you can get away from it all. Or be right there in the center of everything. Arts, sports, entertainment, a vibrant culture. This is North Bay, and it is exactly where I want to be.
We're back here on end number 6, and Wes Forget and Kira Brunton are on the power play. All tied up here, so power play is a interesting, very mixed wrinkle in doubles.
Yeah, it's Terry and I were talking about yesterday, and it was it's interesting that rarely do you have a power play that you can think of in any other sport that you use it for offense or you use it for defense, and this one you do. So sometimes it's an offensive move, and sometimes it's a defensive move, which makes it really quite interesting. In this case, it's obviously for offense, tie game, but yeah, it's interesting tactic. I don't know where the idea came from, but yeah, it's interesting.
So, see, Han and Wang went with the conventional approach. If you're going to try to steal on a power play, is to throw the center guard yourself, knowing that it has to stay there. So, gives Brunton and Forget an opportunity to throw the draw in. Now, all those stones are still protected. They can't be removed yet.
Right.
So, just like that, Brunton and Forget are lying too, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
Except try to throw a good corner freeze. A good corner freeze would serve to certainly help here. So, here we have Wang Yu. This one has a lot of traveling to do. But we've seen some really good finish here in North Bay.
Very nice.
Almost like he knew what he was doing.
He did.
So now we have a good chance of... I didn't think they'd come to this side. I thought they'd corner it from the other side.
Yeah, I would have thought that as well. Sometimes it's easy, and the main reason for that is obviously you've got to get past that one. When you're trying to freeze to the inside going on this turn, you've actually got to get across the face of it, and that's not that easy to do quite often. So coming the other way, you're coming right into it, you can sweep it to get it in there, carve it in, it works pretty good. But obviously you feel they can do the same on this side.
So this is one of the struggles. Feels more like the four-person game, where because you have your hammer team looking to play on the outside and the steel team trying to suck you back into the middle.
Yeah.
This needs to come a little bit further, else the angles aren't their friend. Fair to Midland.
Yeah, I'm going to see more of the same, I think, on this one. Indicating a little tap, maybe, but...
But if you can put one right there where they're laying the broom down, eventually you can run that guard, and both blues are going.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get in a hurry here because you're just gonna bump this to the back of the 8-foot or something. They can do the very same thing, so I don't think you want to do that.
Not yet, no. But if you throw that corner freeze, you make the rock that was just thrown never really a threat to you.
We have a timeout.
So timeout has been called. Their coach is going to come on out. And with that timeout, we will look to get you an update on our other game today from this spiel. In our other semifinal, it is Ford and Campbell trailing by 1 because it's the Hegestads with a 3-2 lead playing the 6th. And ultimately, that's the question there. Do you want to go there? I don't think you want to make a play in the back one at all yet.
No. I don't know why you go in there. I think I was going to say that's where we talked at first and they talked at first. I think that's the best shot. I don't see anything. You could corner freeze on the blue on the button. If you could make it perfect, it would be a good shot, but it would have to be perfect. And I think this makes more sense to me.
So, called a shot, called a timeout. They said the coach came out and said you were right the whole time.
Yeah.
Once again, we've seen this furious sweeping early. And that's because, look at that come in. Oh, you wrecked that. That's not super. Well, bring it a little bit closer. I would bring it as close as you can, really. But
Well, you made your little eventual tap here a little bit harder for sure, but
so the biggest thing is that one redstone is possibly going to be very lonely.
yeah, true enough.
So you see the call there. They're going to try to corner freeze that red. And if they can do that, they can eject it. And Wang and Han are going to be looking at all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
It's unfortunate because we've seen them make some better shots than that. Way tougher shots.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So S4J. This one looks pretty good. It just has to get there for weight. The line looks pretty happy. Now it's going to overcurl a little bit.
Wes has been kind of consistently light on most draws today, it seems. Just needs to find another 6-8 feet on those draws. He seems to be short on most of them.
No,
at least, yeah.
You talk about how fast things can swing in this game. And it's an opportunity for Han and Wang to possibly draw in and give their stone a friend. They might even be able to get down to the shot stone and lock it on there, take the end away.
Yeah, I think it's one or the other. I think it's either short of the rings or it's right on top of the blue one. Because anything in between there potentially opens up the red for a double and blue to sit 4 or 5. Looks like she must be throwing the guard because it's coming across the top. Yeah.
I do like crossing the center line to throw this card. I feel like you have more control over it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've hardly ever played this shot. In all the many moves that I curled, it's just not something I do very often. Probably most people don't very often, but
I find it easier.
Yeah.
Because you avoid the weeds a lot.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's I don't understand why a person doesn't play it more often. I just know I just haven't. Most of my people that I know haven't. So it's just kind of odd. I don't know why we don't look at it that way. I guess somehow at the back of your mind you're going this way, figure out you're a little heavy or something. Maybe you just sink one right in there, but it's not really a good way to play that shot.
Yeah, that really needed to go a couple more inches though, because I do think the in-turn draw is still there.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a dandy, but we've seen how much that they really buckle in at the end.
So it looks like that's what he's going to play.
Now, an interesting fact for you. The two stones that are going to be the place stones are designated in advance, and generally you don't change them during a game.
Yeah.
But you can swap out the other rocks whenever you want.
Yeah. Think about this shot too. He doesn't have to get right to the button. He needs full 4 foot, but he doesn't actually have to get right beside the blue one necessarily.
Have to hurry a little bit for the line. This is getting close to that guard quick. Just squeezes by. Now it needs to find the brakes. Well, he wasn't like this time.
No. I guess you're trying to obviously make up that difference. Just didn't work. Now, do you think about playing the red on the blue? Onto the red, onto the blue?
I do. I think they're going to throw a guard, though. But now he's looking at it. Deciding whether... Yeah, Well, this is ice for the guard.
Yeah, and she's throwing an out turn, so it would seem like that's definitely the way they're going.
Because they saw that rock almost get there, save for the weight, so they clearly feel more threatened by that.
This should do it.
Pretty good outcome.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. So how do you ever make two? I think the answer is you don't.
Yeah, I think it's really, really tough. Go around the red one on the right-hand side, perhaps, and hope that you're going to get enough curl to get full 4 foot.
Oh, boy.
This is really dangerous.
There's one shot.
Yeah.
Go ahead and describe it.
Well, I think he's looking at playing the straight back on the red on the blue and pick the red out. That's the way I think he sees his shot happening.
Yep, and then the blue will probably jam on his other blue, and you score 3.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't see a way to hurt yourself. You'd have to be tremendously unlucky.
Yeah, oh yeah, you would absolutely have to be very, very unlucky to have that happen. But I think you also have to be super lucky to
make it. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I might have just stuck with the out turn and hoped I could find the curl at the end.
Final stone, the 6th. Trying to run them all back. Hard in the brush. Got to be right at the face. On the first one, it's going to go over the top. And it's just going to be the single point for Brunton and Forget. and they'll have a 1-point lead going to the 7th. We'll be back here on Curling Stadium.
Hey Canada, there's something smoking new at Montana's. Beef brisket is now seasoned and then slow smoked in-house for 12 hours every day. Try it in our new Austin cheesesteak sandwich and other barbecue favorites. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
How far do you have to travel to have an experience that's truly northern? Not as far as you might think. North Bay, Ontario. Truly northern experiences are closer than you think. Visit tourismnorthbay.com.
The power play.
Back here in 7th, and Han and Wang are now on the power play. And now we see the defensive variation of this. They're going to push their own guard into the rings. It's okay to lose the rock that you're throwing. So now, that's the interesting wrinkle. Because it's really, that was a win really for Han and Wang, because anytime you hold a team on their power play to a single point, that's huge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now you also gave them a chance to replace that corner guard with their own color. And oftentimes I'd let that bite. Because the difference between being right there and biting is nothing, because you can't remove it anyway.
Yeah.
You get really lucky, it scores at the end.
Right here.
Once again, we're here at the North Bay Granite Club. It's the Montana's North Bay Double Spiel. This is the semifinals between Han Yu and Wang Jiyu and Wes Forget and Kira Brunton. Glad to have you joining us on Curling Stadium today. It's been a big weekend of curling for us from both North Bay and Beaumont. So we have plenty of content in our library from this weekend. We can keep you occupied all weekend. And all week, you don't have to be productive at work this week. I really would like to get that under, because you see where they can just kind of tap and roll under there now, Jimmy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely enough room to make that happen.
It's a brisk -4 today in North Bay.
+4 here, so it's not that much warmer where we are. Or where I am, I guess.
That's about 3 where I am.
Oh, wow. It's cold everywhere. This one's got to move.
Gotta start thinking about a plan B here. Better to leave it open. Because Forget and Brunton really can't come down and freeze to that. That's not going to help them too much.
No. I think you have to hit that one, don't you? You're up one.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to hit it. The more aggressive, that's the safer play, up one. The more aggressive play is to draw underneath your corner, hit it later.
Just don't want to play yourself into a 3-ender here is what you definitely don't want to do.
No, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to force them to 3, yeah. as our friend always says.
Yeah.
Got to hit and just stay open right there. I think I'd like to roll to the other side if I'm throwing it. But...
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was just trying to think of it. He looked like he was tapping to roll underneath the corner. And it's one of those that 2 behind the corner sounds great, but if you force a person to make a good shot over there and they make it, they take everything away. So I think it's a roll towards the center line or further is better. Get away from that one a little bit. A little more room to operate behind that rock at the top of the 12-foot.
So here's Wang.
So your nose.
Yeah, came back to the center anyway. Load it. Now you're a stone higher though. And exactly.
Yeah.
Might be time to, you can come on over to your side now. Been a very interesting game. We see momentum swing in both directions thus far. Looked early on that the Chinese squad had a pretty solid handle on this. Sure, they gave up a steal in the first, but they were really in great position. They took a 3-ender, managed to force Forget and Brunton. So, and then they answered back with playing hard against the power play. So it's really been a very evenly matched, as you would expect in the semifinals of the Spiel. Stone's on the way. I think he started it just a little bit. Hold it hard if you're gonna get any kind of roll. Not gonna get some. Two choices. They're talking about the freeze. What do you think?
I think I'm moving this rock out. I'm gonna, if I could get a little flop, that would be great. But just, I don't like the idea of not moving it out because then you may never ever be able to count your red on the other side. So I'm gonna be happy right now, at least reasonably happy to be thinking 2 and not 3. unless something happens here. If I can hit this and they hit it on the nose, I can roll behind that and stay above the tee line. Maybe it changes a little bit, but for now I'm going to remove that rock. I'm not going to try to roll all the way over there, though.
You see a pretty good crowd assembling in the warm room. Have their Bloody Caesars in hand. Off and on, usually a pretty good sign. They're gonna remove it. And where does the shooter end up going? Oh, you didn't want to skid her all the way out.
No, a bit surprised. Not quite sure why they weren't trying to make that rock move, like trying to carve it a little bit. It's a good sweeper, real good sweeper, but there was no effort to try to get a little extra curl out of that to save it. And I think there was an opportunity to do that.
So now an opportunity to stick one under there because there's no real good way to get to that right in the 8-foot.
No, I think that's virtually impossible to get to that unless you go on the out turn and pick it and roll out, but that doesn't really accomplish much for you. So.
Actually, here in the last stone, there's no real danger in running it back because if you make it, you're going to force them. You have to make the draw right to make it force. If you make it either way, you're going to have the hammer down at worst by 1. I think they're thinking about it again right now.
It's the last shot of the end for them.
Yep. So if you go and throw the run, even if you stuff the stone that you run, you didn't get any worse. You have the hammer, you're only trailing 1, and there's a real possibility you get the true force because they're going to draw from 1 because you get forced in this game.
Yeah, I think it's a question of what Kira's comfortable throwing, probably more than anything, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think they're going to take a go at it, but we'll see. They certainly discussed it. Now it's going to be the draw.
Oh, she's coming out. Oh, this is not what I was expecting that they would have played, but...
Oh, yeah.
She's going to bump it into the open, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe perfect.
Ho, that is pretty sneaky there. Not bad at all.
That's a great shot.
Fantastic.
Oh, she's coming out. Oh, this is again here. At first I thought they were drawing around the corner guard on the other side. Then I thought they were drawing around this one, but they had the shot in mind all along, obviously, or maybe not. Absolutely perfect weight.
Oh, that is pretty sneaky there. So that made this draw for 1 a lot tougher. Unless they think they can pick it, and I think they're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, I think they can get enough to move it out for sure. And I think they're right. They have to move it, 2 feet?
Yeah, so, if Kira had maybe 3 feet less weight, I don't think that would have been there.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have. You're right. Yeah, she was probably, I guess, if you want to be critical, she was a little bit heavy, but...
it's a better shot than I would have thrown, Jimmy.
Well,
so.
Me too.
Final stone, the 7th. Try and dig this one out for a deuce.
It's really just a little bit of a heavy draw, really, is all this is.
The line looks really good. Just needs to take the curl. Here she comes. Gotta get enough of it. Just gotta get some of it.
Ooh.
Oh, it's gonna be just enough to score a single. Single point, 1 red. Tied up coming home. Bourget and Brunton will have hammer. You're watching Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Swiss Chalet's festive special is back. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. It's a tradition truly worth sharing. The festive special, only at Swiss Chalet.
Back here in the final end of the Montana North Bay doubles. Got a tie game here between Hanyu and Wang Jiyu and Wes Forget and Kiera Brunton. It was Wang and Han getting forced to a single point, and Forget and Brunton do have the hammer here coming home. First come around attempt was a little bit late to the top 12 foot. And Yang need to set up a steal here. And Brunton and Forget only need a single.
So Dave, does the strategy sort of run the same as regular curling here? In this case, a team with hammer at some point will try to get rid of some guards, or will everybody just kind of try to be the closest to the button when we're done?
Well, obviously, Blue would like to be one closest to the button when he's done, but so this is gonna look more like a tie game in mixed doubles coming home. Once we get past through the free guard zone, it's gonna look a lot more like a traditional end.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring. So
it's just gonna go much faster.
Yeah.
So this is the last rock that is placed before the hitting. So ultimately, this is Han and Wang's last chance to get themselves in a good position. So a good position to me would be kind of corner frozen. Moving that blue is not bad a little bit. That's pretty good because he set up some catchers and maybe a pocket for later. You don't expect to see a peel come. That was a very traditional blow it up wave.
Yeah.
This is where if you have a team style where one person's decidedly a better hitter, they are now throwing 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the rare times you'll see a change is oftentimes in this particular situation. First one away from Forget. And this is certainly peel weight. Gonna try to get one on the way by. 1, 2, 3. Moved a lot of granite there. Clean up on sheet 2.
Yeah, I think that was a great shot, really. Just, there's still a few rocks in play, but that certainly improved the situation without any guards out there for Brunner and Forget. Brunton and Forget, sorry.
Yeah. So now you're going to see this look once again like a regular end of curling. You're going to throw a guard now. Throw a guard and force the peels.
Yeah, and then you just play the freeze on the last shot.
And hope for the best.
Yeah.
So this wants to be just there, about in between the logos, maybe a touch higher. That's a pretty good spot. Now, the angles are also beneficial here. You're probably going to see another bullet. I don't know if he'd just come in, though. I think you lose the guard. You draw in, you're doing them a favor.
Yeah, I think the odds of winning are much better if you're up that guard than if you decide to be the first one in this shot.
There we go. And we see Wes wants to throw one high and hard right down Broadway. He's like, this goes, that goes, they all go. He'd be like the Oprah curling. They get a stone, and they get a stone, and they get a stone.
You don't have any fun doing this, Dave. You gotta have some fun doing this.
You know, I'm trying. You know, it's for the longest time, Jimmy, I've been trying to get out of my shell.
You're making progress. That's good. I love it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Because throwing this run, especially if you throw it this way, you might be able to get lucky and drive rocks. You don't mind hitting the one in the back, but most importantly, you're probably not stuffing your shooter either.
No, I would have figured this was a straight peel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I still think you need to throw another one.
Well, I do too, and I probably do more now that they just thought about the draw. Because I wouldn't be disappointed if I threw a guard and they decided to go in there, and they might make it harder on me, but they might make it better for me. So I'd be willing to take that chance.
Very difficult to steal one without a guard.
Yeah.
Especially when you saw that probably about 6-second peel come down the ice.
Yeah.
Wes is still doing his telestrain there. This goes that way, that goes that way.
Well, with the way that Wes can throw it, I think if you try to go in there and you sit it on the tee line somewhere, you may not have anything left at all to work with on the last shot, which, you know, if you throw the guard, you probably are going to have something left for the last shot that's a reasonable expectation of victory there. So, yeah, I don't know that I really love the idea coming in here right now, but
we'll see where it ends up.
Yeah.
Yeah, your opponent just demonstrated a superior smashing ability.
Yeah.
That's probably those first big peels we've seen.
Yeah.
But the idea here is, if you're doing this, to try to put it right kind of caddy corner in there. Weasel around. Need to get a little bit further.
I think it's an excellent shot.
It's a great shot. And so now, you know, you're tempted to go boom, which he just said. You know, if I go boom, is it good? And it might be.
I think if you hit this almost on the nose, virtually everything except for the blue one at the back of the 4-foot, biting the 4-foot, is gone. I think both reds will go.
Yeah, there's a good chance you leave your shooter, but
your shooters stay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
then you're probably freezing to the back one.
Yeah.
Don't know if I like freezing because if you call this shot and you miss, you better make it.
Well, yeah, and from what like skill set wise, to me, from the little bit we have of a few ends of curling here, Forget's best shot is going to be that big weight hit, and not necessarily this perfect freeze. And I think it just makes way more sense for him to get rid of those as much as he can and leave Kira the best she can do to get her make on our last shot. And I don't know that this is it. If you're right, if you make this perfect, it's pretty darn good. But anything less than perfect, you might be creating your own loss here.
So Bourget looking for the freeze.
It's not bad though.
Great shot.
He called it.
Heavy.
He threw it. He brushed it. And he came very close to making it.
Yeah, but there's the problem, right? And you can see
Yep.
he taps that and rolls in front. Or was it? He's throwing still. Taps this and rolls in front of the red. What do? Shake hands, I guess. Shot.
Yeah, well, Han is throwing it. She's throwing this. This is their last.
Oh, right, yeah, they're starting. Yeah, sorry.
Just tough to see who's shot right now. I do believe blue is shot at the moment. Thanks for the close-up, guys. Very close, but I would put my money on blue.
Me too.
So, yeah, just move it just a skosh. Yep, just to there.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree, but I don't think you don't have to be so careful with it that you don't move it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be bad.
Yeah, if you're 2 or 3 feet heavy on this, it still bumps it and ends up basically with the same situation. So don't. Sometimes when you're throwing this kind of a shot, you absolutely have to be frozen to it. This one, there's enough back there that you don't have to be absolutely perfect with T-line weight. So give yourself a little bit to work with. Let's look at this. He really just would like to move it about an inch.
Yep. No, but I do agree with you. You don't want to be so tremendous perfect. I see where he's going though. He's saying I think he's saying if you hit it and kind of scoot just a hair towards the center.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. That's.
I don't know how you ever score then.
No, I don't either. We were talking earlier about overthinking shots, and you're getting close to that with this one. By the time you're ready to throw it, it's like trying to freeze the kicker in football. Of course, it never seems to work in football, so maybe it doesn't matter. So they're freezing themselves out here, literally freezing themselves out. That's what we should have in curling. The other team should be allowed to call a timeout in this situation.
Right. Freeze a shooter.
Yeah, stay in there, coach. We just don't need you to talk about it.
Yeah, I played in a charity event once where they had some different power-ups you could buy for an additional donation. So you had a mulligan, and you could also, if somebody made a good shot, it was called Prove It, make him throw it again.
Okay. Well, that's neat.
And then, then you say, how we say, if you could just place it there, you could actually buy that and just walk your rock down and place it. So here we go. Big shot. They got to move this blue just a couple inches. Hanwoo to make them possibly punch their ticket to the finals. Got to get down there. Oh, this is going to be really good, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a tremendous shot.
you know, I think they need to come over a little bit more, because if you dead nose it, you might leave the back. You might leave the back blue counting.
Yeah, no, I agree. It needed to curl another inch or two to be perfect. And yeah, you might be able to make that. You might be able to make the double and not disturb the blue too much and have the back blue counting. Well, not really make the double, but move them all enough to have it work out.
So basically what we're saying is you just nose that stone that was just thrown.
Yeah.
It's going to catch the other red just on the side. You'll probably catch the back blue on the way by, but the stone will kick out the side door.
Yeah.
And either that or the one you just thrown is going to count.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see the blue one that's right. None of those. The blue one that's whichever one. The blue one that's closest to the button. I could see that one staying where it is. And if it does, then you might end up scoring with that rock.
It's a game of inches and it's a game of millimeters. And it's going to come down to that right now. Kira Brunton and West Forget with a trip to the finals on the line. Final stone of the 8th. Forget in the brush. He's on it hard. Gotta hold it. Gotta be hard. Gotta be on the nose. Can't let it go past. Hit it. Move it over. Yes, you do. Oh, do you?
I think so.
Really, really close. Taking a look at it. It's really close. I think it's blue. And it is a win for West Forget and Kira Brunton by a score of 6-5. What a big last shot, Jimmy.
Yeah, that was a tremendous shot, really. I mean, there was just a really great shot by Kira Brunton. I really thought they kind of dug their own grave there with the decision on the shot before, and they almost did, but they did get away with it. And Kira threw a pistol there. That was not easy to do, and she just managed to throw it perfect. So congrats to them.
And West Forget and Kira Brunton will be moving on to the finals coming up shortly at 3 o'clock in the East. But for right now, for Jim Nix and Jerry Gertz, I'm Dave Schmel. Thanks for watching Curling Stadium and the Stadium Sports Network. Have a great day.
Yeah, it's gone.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
How far do you have to travel to have an experience that's truly northern? Not as far as you might think. North Bay, Ontario. Truly northern experiences are closer than you think. Visit tourismnorthbay.com.